What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, well, I have made Champ, not necessarily for the first time. I'm in Champion 3, as I've made it before, but I made it this time with, we'll say, not no help, but very, very, very little help. Now, I wasn't renting any cards, but I did have some cards delegated to me during while I was making my run up from Diamond 2 to Diamond 1, and then I almost made it to Champ actually on my own. Those cards were then taken back, and I dropped back down to like low Diamond 1, and then found a way to make it back. Now, part of this was played, part of the games were played by myself. Part of it was played by I used the Archmage bot token, and so you can see here I'm sitting literally at the bottom of it. 773 people ahead of me in Modern Champ. So the point that I'm trying to make here, and the point of this video is going to be, well, what is the deck that I have that was able to make it? Because at the time when I kind of made that run to Champ, I didn't have anything delegated to me, and I know that my deck is good enough to get into Diamond 1 usually by the end of the season. So not having that help, having that help earlier to get from Diamond 2 to Diamond 1 is something that my deck would have been able to do eventually. But again, at the time of actually achieving Champ, I didn't have anything during that run. So I just want to go over what my deck consists of, because hopefully that can give somebody out there or whoever's trying to achieve Champ can give an outline of like what a possible deck to make Champ is. And again, just it's kind of like posterity for me too, just to be able to say like, oh my gosh, I did it. So in the meantime, the only thing that has been delegated to me is Kor Lurker, but that actually came after hitting Champ. So once again, thanks to Darkest Night for being so generous. I think he's like done for the season, so now he's just like throwing cards out there. Okay, so let's go to let's go to playable and see what we have. Now, I've constantly said that I mostly have a gold Chaos Legion deck. Obviously, there are some cards or certain cards that are maxed out, but for the most part, you'll see here that most of it is not. It's not going to be diamond level. Now, the difference, and I was talking about Chaos Legion as a core set. The difference for this though is that from a reward standpoint, I have some of the Soulbound reward cards up in like the silver level, but on the older reward cards, right, the ones that are not Soulbound, I do have a majority of those maxed out. There might be like one or two here or there that are a couple of levels lower. So for example, like Vampiric Blossom is only level 4, but I barely ever use that. The important ones though, right, the ones that I probably use the most, like the Jin Oshanis, Jin Bilgeka, Jared Scar, Countess Sinesh, Harklaw, all of those guys are, and Venator Kinjo, all of those guys are maxed out, right? I think the same with the epics. There's no epic that I have under. So, and then you can see here my Riftwatcher deck. There's just, I don't have much playable here or much that I'm actually using. I do own more, but I'm actually renting out. Let's see, rented out. So like I'm renting out a bunch of the Riftwatcher cards, which I don't even know why I'm doing anymore. I should probably take those back in and start using them. So in terms of like playable, I have a level 4 Night Ghoul here. I use a level 1 Ra from time to time, and I use a level 1 Agar Longtail. So again, that's what it is. I'll even use a level 1 Runemancer Atuat just for the headwinds. I don't think I've actually played Ancient Redwood in any game yet, but definitely not any of the summoners either, because those are all underpowered. So we go to the Chaos Legion set, and you'll see here, actually, you know what? We're going to do summoners first. So you'll see here that when it comes to rare summoners, for example, Kelly is the only one that I have at level 7, but honestly, unless it's a Little League game and I'm forced to use like one of these summoners and I can't use Quicks, for example, that's the only time that I'll use Kelia, because since I have a Lux Vega, that is huge. And actually, that's one of the points that I'm going to get to. But otherwise, the rest of them are all level 6. And then you look at the legendary summoners, Conqueror Yasik is level 3, Grandmaster Wraith, Astral Entity, those are all level 3, and then Lily Shieldpaw, I actually don't even use because it's level 2, so like I can barely get any of the cool abilities that are unlocked, at least at gold, so I still need to get one more Lily Shieldpaw. So the only ones that are maxed out for me from a legendary standpoint are obviously Quicks the Devious, I've had that maxed for a bit, but then Possibilis the Wise and Immortalis. And I'll tell you right now that if you go through my game history, I use them very sparingly compared to Lux and Quicks. I would say, and oddly enough, I would probably even use Possibilis more in certain or specific rule sets. Immortalis is great, but I just, again, either myself or the bot, I haven't really seen it used as much, even though it is maxed out. When it comes to, so we did summoners. So now let's go to monsters. We go to legendary monsters, and you will see here that I don't have, for example, any of the fiends maxed out, so I'm not even getting those benefits in Diamond. The only ones that I have maxed out are Queen Mycelia, Lyra the Dark, and Carnage Titan, right? So all of the others are either level 3, meaning they're gold or less. So for example, like I use Spirit Hoarder all the time. I don't even have it at level 3 where you get the blind, and I know that is super clutch. Ifrit Rising and Zyvax Vul, I don't use these guys very much, so therefore they're still at level 2 for me. But I should probably max those out at some point just because they're like the cheapest legendary cards. If we go to epics, this is my my wall of shame essentially, because I don't think I don't have any of the epics maxed. I don't even have most of the epics maxed for gold, which would be level 5. So I'm trying to see if I even have a level 5 epic here. I do not. Most of them, the highest level that I have would probably be for something like Jin Inferni and Wave Brood and Grund, right? Those are the ones that I probably use a tremendous amount more than the others. So anything that's leveled up to level 4. So let's see, Jin Inferni, Wave Brood, Grund, Magi Necrosi is another one that'll come in handy. Now, oddly enough, I do use Prismologist quite a bit, but I'm using a level 3 Prismologist. So, take that for what it is. And then my Magi of Chaos, I know it gets a press at, I think it's at level 4. So that's another one that I'll need to focus on getting. And then Forgotten One. I need to get this thing to level 3 just for the Retaliate, but I've just been playing with a level 2 one. And, it's I don't want to say it's been working, but it definitely was enough, at least for this season. Now, when it comes to my commons and rares, I do believe most of them are at least a gold level. So, and gold is, gold level would be level 5, and then max for gold is level 6. So you can see I still need more Tenyi Striker to max for gold, which means I'm actually getting less rewards, right? If I play this in Diamond. Murdali Garden is another one that I need to max for gold. It's only at level 5. I'm sorry. Mycelic Slip Spawn. This is a card that I do use a lot, yet it is only at level 4. So there's another one that is probably on my list to do. Life Sapper, I'll use this a lot in... I'll use it a lot in Equalizer rule sets, but this is level 4 as well. But I don't have any of them maxed out. The closest that I have is probably River Nymph, and so I may just go do that because I know it's not super expensive right now for me to go and it's like 15 cents. So it's not terrible, but that's where the status of my rares are, and then my common cards. Now, I believe all of these are at least at gold level, which gold would be level 6 and above. Max for gold will be at level 8. So you can see here, there's nothing level 5 or below, at least from what I'm looking at, except for the 1 mana cards, which are usually at level 3 for me because I use the gold versions of them, right? So your Mycelic Slipspoid, or Mycelic Morphoid, Carrion Shade, Radiated Scorcher, Hardy Stonefish, and I'm actually not even getting the benefits of I'm still getting dinged on the low card level, but I use them just because I also get the 10% bonus. So I don't know what the math is like on that. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I know which one is better, but that's just where I'm at. So I should probably buy a couple more just to max this up, maybe for gold, so I can get maxed rewards. But you can see here, the only, again, I don't have any of them maxed out. The closest one that I have is going to be Chaos Agent because I've actively been working on taking any extra capital that I have in the game and buying more Chaos Agents. But I still need 62 BCX in order to get a maxed Chaos Agent. And with all of the land stuff coming out, what I've been doing traditionally is selling the vouchers that I have to level up my deck, the extra vouchers that I have. But most of that is going towards the ECB now. So, it's probably going to be a little bit until I can get Chaos Agent because, this thing is selling for what? 15 cents. 15 cents isn't like terrible. Maybe I should jump in while it's a little bit lower. And by a little bit lower, I mean like they were selling for like 17, 18 cents maybe a couple weeks ago. So yeah, ultimately that's the status of where my deck is. Now, quick takeaways from this. Let's go back here. Quick takeaways. And I've said this before in multiple places, but it comes down to these two cards for me. Lux Vega and Quicks the Devious. So yes, do I know how valuable Lux Vega is? Absolutely. And I think the market is recognizing that too, because there's not that many out there. And the price, which used to hover between like 600 to 700, is now over $1,000, right? I mean, we might see something that drops down. I think I saw something at like $9.99 yesterday. I don't know if it got bought or if the price was pushed back up, but ultimately, like, this card is super valuable. And so if you're able to rent one, right? And I don't even know what the daily. Oh, the daily's like 664. Sorry, let's go back here so I can get this in dollar terms. It's 53 cents a day. But I will say that if you look at a lot of the battles that I have here, it just trades back and forth between Lux Vega and Quicks the Devious. Sure, here's probably well, this wasn't a Little League game, and I don't know why it chose. I don't know why I or the bot chose this team, but sorry, chose Kelia. But for the most part, I mean, it's just me or the bot spamming sorry, not Kelia, but Lux and Quicks. So at the end of the day, like, those cards are super powerful. Obviously, you could and probably should, if you can, also maybe get a maxed, what is that called? The dragon one, Lily Shieldpaw. So let's do this. Legendary summoners. So you look at it across the board. I mean, a maxed. Oh, let's go to level 4 for legendary. So 53 cents a day for Lux Vega. Again, that's going to be your most versatile, but obviously most expensive one. And then you get Quicks the Devious and Lily Shieldpaw for an additional 29 cents a day. So your summoners will probably cost you anywhere from like 70 cents to $1, right? Depending on what you're able to get them for. But ultimately, I think that's all you really need. In fact, I was able to do it with just Lux Vega and Quicks the Devious, and again, achieve, not dominate, but just achieve champ. So from there, having the max reward cards is great. Those are still relatively cheap, I would say, at least compared to where they were way back in the past, or compared to a lot of the other like counterparts that they have in Chaos Legion or Rift Watchers. But again, from these, Jared Scar is definitely a must-have. I'd say Jin O'Shaughnessy is probably another must-have too, and Harkla to a certain extent. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to go through every card here unless you guys want me to do like a deep dive into like the cards that are essential. But we've done that on live streams in the past. Maybe I can post like a clip of that. But ultimately, that's where my deck is, and now I'm just happy. So I'm staying here in Champion 3 for Modern, and I'm letting the bot run wild, and I'm playing some games over here in. I'm in Champion Wild, but then I'm in Champion in Modern. But I am now playing in Wild to get this up because I think I dropped back down to like Gold 2 or something. So thankfully, I've let the bot run overnight, and this thing has been on a massive win streak, playing against a lot of underpowered decks, I would say, in Gold, which has been fantastic, or even here in Diamond. Or actually, no, this was still in Gold, where I played against a level 5 Kelia, level 5, level 6 Ulrich isn't terrible. But so I'll close with this thought. I thought that once the new energy system went into place, the ratings inflation issue wouldn't be solved, but at least would come down a little bit, meaning that it would be even harder for me to get to Diamond 1, let alone Champ. So I don't know what's necessarily going on, but I will take it. And obviously this is a very, sample size n=1, just one season right now. So we'll see how this trends. But if I can make Champ every season, and then I drop back down to Diamond 2, where I think my deck can be competitive at, and then get to Diamond 1, later or mid-season, and then continue getting back to Champ, I don't know. This is really exciting because I don't have a max deck. And I know for many people, they were saying all you need is a max Chaos deck. Don't worry about Rift Watchers. Don't worry about anything else. Just get maxed, maxed Chaos, and you'll be good to go. So obviously, I recognize that having a Lux is super clutch. I could probably sell the Lux and at this point and max out the rest of my deck, but I understand the value of Lux. It's also a promo card, gets me additional rewards. So this is not a sales pitch for Lux. I'm just recognizing the privilege that I have of owning one and using one literally all the time. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. I hope it was helpful for anybody who is in Gold/Diamond and hoping to make Champ. I will say I did not have any expectations of ever making Champ. I don't consider myself a champ player or want to play in champ. Like that wasn't the goal. I just wanted to play competitively and earn assets within the game, and maybe in the future, like work towards champ. But the fact that we were able to achieve it now with very minimal help, but thank you to Darkest Night for helping, but just with very minimal help is something that is really exciting for me, and I hope that I can continue it. Now it'll be a goal every season to try and get there. But that is all I have. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.